You built up the divisions within the working class to break them apart, to stop them from being unified, that capitalism was their problem and that the Democratic Party would be the party that would save them from what capitalists would otherwise be prepared to do to them again. And it worked in large part. The working class, the labor movement, the communists, so fell apart. Women and men started playing the old roles again, not the new ones. Segregation and race hostilities were revved up again, where they hadn't survived so well before. And so the working class fractured, and the Republicans were able to make real gains, to be the champion of white against black, to be the champion of the male worker on the job, less the women. You could see the whole modern identity politics being born in this onslaught to undo the New Deal. And what did the Democratic Party do? Did it go to their roots and say, no, we're going to be the united working class? No. They didn't know how to fight this battle. They too were hobbled. They didn't rely on their left wing because those were tarred with the brush of communism and socialism. So they fell for that kind of splitting, and they split. So a new generation of Democrats, led by people like Bill Clinton, emerged, who said, okay, if we can't hold on to the working class, maybe we can keep our party going by appealing to the capitalists. The party not of Franklin Roosevelt, but the party of the other side. If the Republicans split the working class and hurt us, we'll split the capitalist class and pull over a bunch of them to support us. And what you have is the result. Two political parties, both of whom begging for money from the rich and the powerful and the capitalists, and each of them with a hand on part of the working class. The Republicans more and more white and male, and the Democrats more and more female, non-white, minority, or the modern picture that we're used to. But both parties unwilling and unable to challenge capitalism because they depend on the same funders. They depend on the same support from that part. They could not maintain their oppositional position that they had developed in the 30s. And the man who comes to power and puts it all together, Ronald Reagan, he takes the step to finish the job. So he begins his presidency by throwing the air traffic controllers out of their jobs, showing that he is going to crunch down on what remains of the labor movement. And he is going to celebrate globalization. Of course we'll help American companies that want to go abroad. Of course we'll help American companies that want to use this new invention of the computer to get rid of millions of jobs, throwing people into the chaos of unemployment and hunting for a new job. The power of the business community rebuilt as it was before the Great Depression. And the American working class split. And Mr. Reagan gets enough of particularly what? White male workers to pull enough away from the Democratic Party to get power. And Mr. Clinton, who comes afterwards, he has given up. He supports the same capitalists. He supports globalization. He supports all of it. His only claim to the mass of the working class is, look, you should vote for me, not Mr. Reagan, because I'll soften it. I mean, I'll do the same stuff he does, but I won't do it so harshly. I won't do it so quickly. Yeah, you'll lose your job through a computer, but I'll give you some help along the way so it won't be as bad as those Republicans will let it be. The Democrats become Republican light, and that's not a winning strategy. Not at all, because the white working class, the men and the white men who supported mostly the Republicans because the Republicans went after them, they are getting upset, as are the women and the blacks and the others, because across all this period, whether it's Reagan or it's Clinton, whether it's the old Republicans or the underlying reality is both of those parties are letting capitalism do what it does. Replace people with machines, move jobs abroad, build up the profits, and neglect the conditions of the mass of people. And people get angry. It takes a while. It takes decades. But across the 80s and 90s and the first decade of this century, all of these processes are at work until finally the working class is angry enough to say, we don't care whether it's the Reagan Republicans or the Clinton Democrats. This is all the same. We want something different. There is a memory, an echo, a historical trace of what they remember, even if it was their parents told them about it back in the 1930s. And they want something different.